Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings, viewers and subscribers. This Thursday, April 20, WABA, in association with the Blue Hole Mineral Spring at Broughton District in the parish of Westmoreland, presents the Blue Hole Annual 420 Party. All local farmers are invited to this event. There will be educational speakers. There will also be live performances by Luciano, Anthony Abel, Sassanian, and the Nyabingi Drum. Music will be provided by DJ Ran International and DJ Myri. Food and refreshment will be on sale. That's this Thursday, April 20. There will be fun and excitement all day. Check it out. Now, on to the news. This one took place yesterday afternoon. Sunday, April 16, about 2 o'clock. It took place at Beckford Field in the parish of Westmoreland. We are learning that the Westmoreland police, acting on intelligence, they carried out a raid in bushes in the area and bingo. If you look on your screen, those items were found. Now, let me itemize them for you. 1.22 pistol, 1 AK-47 magazine, 1 M16 magazine, 1 Taurus magazine, 2 Springfield magazines, 1 Smith & Wesson magazine, 1 Glock extended magazine, 4 Browning magazines, 16.45 cartridges, 8.40 cartridges, 11 9mm cartridges, 8 5.56 cartridges, 44.22 cartridges, 7 7.62 cartridges, 1 magazine holder, 1 magazine speed loader, and 1 tear gas air filter. No, no one was arrested in connection with this find, but congratulations to the Westmoreland police for making this find. And intelligencers, big up on yourself. Job well done. Now, at the end of yesterday's video, I told you about an incident and I promised to update it. So, this is what we found out. Earlier this year, a youngster, he's 17 years old. He attempted to break into a house in the Dumfries area in the parish of St. James. He was held whilst trying to break into this house and he was chopped. We are told that he and his bigger brother, Adolphus Holder, also known as Goldball, he is 33 years old. Both of them, they left the area because they were being threatened. It is said that Goldball, he thought everything was done and he returned to the area recently. Now, a party was being held at Kidaris Sports Bar at Cane and Dumfries Saturday night into Sunday morning. The promoter for the event, he had applied for and was given permission to host the event. About some minutes to 2 o'clock, early yesterday morning, Sunday, April 16, Goldball, he was in the party enjoying himself. He was standing beside that man on your screen. His name is Jevannie Garden, but he was popularly known as BLAZA. He is 22 years old and he lived at Johnson Hill in the Saltmarsh area in the parish of Trelawney. They were approached by hoodlums who shot them several times all over their bodies. Now, this was a party and it's more than a miracle how more people were not hurt, because we are told that when the police processed this crime scene, 18 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. So, Goldball, he is suspected to have been the target for the hoodlums, but BLAZA, he was also killed. The mayhem. So let me ask you something from now. Let me ask you something from now, because when we start the next story, we are not going to stop. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, If you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be the first to be notified. Now, have you heard the news? Kevon Smith, he was sentenced last week to 21 years for killing 2 women and a man. Now, I was trying to get a photograph for Kevon Smith and Jason Buckland for this story, but I was unable to do so. I was also trying to get a photograph for Bryan Morris. Now, if you have any photo of either of them, please send it to us at 876-343-1034. That's 876-343-1034. Now, let me give you the backstory in this mayhem. Both Kevon Smith and Jason Buckland, they used to live at 3 Miles River in the parish of Westmoreland. Jason, he used to do electrical welding, making things like grills for homes, etc. Kevon, he was a church-going guy. In fact, Kevon, he was a deacon in a Seventh-day Adventist church in the area where he lived. Now, I will soon tell you more about Kevon and church. Stand by. So, Kevon, in late 2010, he was now a little bit over 18 years old and he started looking for work. He went to the Guardsman office in Negril, where he sat and was successful in the entrance exam to become a security guard. Kevon was trained by Guardsman and he started working. He was deployed to work at various locations in Negril. We are told that after a while, Kevon, he was proven to be a problem security officer. He wanted to have things his own way. Kevon, he did not follow instructions well. One of the places where Kevon would work at times is outside of the Guardsman office itself in Negril. We are told that he used to work there at nights. So Kevon, he knew who the people are who would work there at nights, and he knew who would come or go at that office during the night. This is very important, and this is the motive for this mayhem. Listen me carefully now. Guardsman, they had a loan facility for their security officers. It's called Travel Cash. Now, I'm not sure if they still have it, but here is how it used to work. Say, for example, I am a security officer with Guardsman and I want, let's say, $50,000 to borrow from Guardsman. I would fill out the paperwork and the office in Negril would send the documents to the head office in Kingston. Guardsman, they would then send me an ATM card. Now, I am not sure at which point during the loan application process they would send me the ATM card, but when the loan is approved, what Guardsman would do is send down a sealed envelope from head office to the Negril office with my name on that envelope. That envelope would contain the PIN number for me to access the cash at an ATM that Guardsman would lend me. You understand? I hope you get it, So let's say 20 of us borrow money from Guardsman and the 20 loans were approved. They would send down the envelopes to the Negril office on a Thursday afternoon. Note that day. It's very important. Now, Kevon, he was working at the main gate at the KlLLED Hotel one night. It is said that Kevon, he took some money from some guests who were staying at another hotel to let them onto the KlLLED property. The money that he collected from the guests would also see them coming back the next night. Remember now, KlLLED was an all-inclusive, and if you are not staying on property, you are supposed to have a day or night pass to enter. So Kevon, he collected 1 night pass money from them and told them they could go in tonight and tomorrow night. Tomorrow night come and there was a breakdown in terms of security coverage at the Jungle nightclub. As a result, Kevon, he was not sent to KlLLED that night. He was sent to work at the Jungle nightclub. The guests who Kevon collected money from the previous night. They turned up at the Grand Leader gate, demanding to go inside. When they were questioned, they reported that they had paid the security officer who was working last night to enter the property. Kevon, who was already on chalk line, he was brought in to a disciplinary hearing and Guardsman parted ways with him. He was fired. Now, on the evening of Thursday, June 28, 2012, about 6 o'clock or thereabout, 2 female security officers, they commenced duties at the Guardsman office in Negril. One of them was that lady on your screen. Her name is Sylvia Cynthia Beckford. She celebrated her 42nd birthday 2 months prior to that night on April 16. Sylvia, she lived at White House in the parish of Westmoreland. The other lady on duty was that lady on your screen. Her name is Mrs. Judith McCauley. She celebrated her 31st birthday on March 5 that same year, 2012. She lived at Caldwell District in the parish of Anova. The mobile supervisor who worked that day, his name is Mr. Bryan Morris. Mr. Morris, he was 33 years old at the time and he lived in the Little London area in the parish of Westmoreland. We are told that Supervisor Morris, he had worked during the day, but he borrowed the company bus to drop off something in the night at his home. We are told that whilst he was at home, he received a phone call. Someone told him to report to the Guardsman office immediately. Now, I'm not sure who it was that called Mr. Morris, but that was the last time his wife and children saw him alive. Mr. Morris, he drove up to the gate to enter the Guardsman compound. He came out of the bus and he was in the process of opening the gate when he was pounced on by both Buckland and Kevon Smith. This was late Thursday night. One of the hoodlums was armed with a gun and the other one was armed with a knife. It is said that Kevon, he stabbed his once supervisor in his side and told him that if he made any sound, he's gonna kill him. They walked with Bryan Morris up to the office. The main gate is about 100 meters or so from the office. They carried Mr. Morris to the back of the building. We are told that Kevon, who knew the ladies who were working inside and the ladies would have known him, he called out to them and told them that Mr. Bryan Morris, he was in an accident on the road not long ago and he was injured. The ladies looked out and they saw Mr. Morris and they realized that he was injured because he was bleeding from his side. So what they did was they opened the door. And the rest, like they say, is history. You remember I told you about the envelopes with the pins to access the money? Apparently, Kevon, he didn't know how this worked. He thought there was one ATM card in the Guardsman office and this card would access all the money that was to be loaned to the guards. As a result, he planned with Jason to go there, get a hold of the card, get the PIN number, and bingo. They got ATM cards from the security officers, but these were their personal cards. In the end, they ended up killing Judith, Sylvia, and Bryan. They stole 2 guns from the office, a cellular phone, and ATM cards, as also the Guardsman bus in which they made good their escape. Early Friday morning, the mobile supervisor who was doing the night shift, he came in and he made the gruesome find. 3 of his colleagues were viciously slaughtered in the office. At least one of them was stabbed and the other 2 stabbed and shot. The police, they commenced investigation. Now, on Friday, June 29, the news started spreading like wildfire. 3 security officers, 1 man and 2 women were slaughtered in their office. Later that morning, the Guardsman bus that Jason and Kevon stole. It was found burnt out in the farm pen area of Westmoreland. And you want to know something? The very next day, on Saturday, April 30, 2012, Kevon, who was responsible for the death of his 3 former co-workers, he got up, dressed neatly, and went to church. You remember I told you that he was a deacon? Well, the very next day, Sunday, July 1, 2012, we are told that Kevon and Jason, they went to an ATM machine where they withdraw funds from one of the security officers' account. And that right there was the beginning of a break in the case. The police, they carried out a raid at Jason Buckland's home, and he was held with the 2 guns that were stolen from the Guardsman office, plus some rounds. Jason, he started to leak, telling the police that he was there that night, but it was Kevon who did the killing. Kevon, he was picked up by the police, and he was found with the keys for the Guardsman bus that they had burnt up. Kevon told the police that it was Jason who did the killing. Now, it is my view, and hear me out. It is my view that it was Kevon who did the killing, and I'm going to tell you why. Jason, he told the police that he wore a mask. Jason, he was masked up. He told the police that Kevon did not wear any mask. Kevon himself told the police that he did not wear any mask. That sounds to me like Kevon. He went there to rob and kill. Do you agree? Yeah, man. Jason wore his mask. Kevon, who the people would have known, he did not. He wasn't planning on robbing them and just leave. He planned to rob and kill. So both Kevon and Jason, they were charged for 3 counts of murder plus other offenses. So the case was proceeding in the courts. And in 2017, 5 years later, Jason Buckland, he pleaded guilty and he was sentenced to life in prison. He was ordered to serve 15 years before being eligible for parole. Kevon Smith, he was holding out that he's innocent, but he too, he pleaded guilty recently in the St. James Circuit Court. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of murder and 3 counts of robbery, as also illegal possession of firearm. Kevon Smith, he was sentenced to life in prison and he'll be eligible for parole after serving 21 years. Justice Judith, who imposed the sentence, she ordered that the clock should start counting last week when the sentence was handed down. So, in addition to the 11 years that Kevon already spent in prison, he'll be serving another 21 years. My hope is that they were both sentenced to death. And this is not me blaming the judge, but until the politicians are serious about crime and put laws in place to give criminals the sentence they deserve, I will forever be saying the mayhem continues. And by the way, condolences to the family and friends of these 3 security officers. They were mothers. They were wives. Bryan was a father. He was a husband. They were all hard working people. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Blog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it me country back. To the street and the lane, everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, the land of the sun.